Welcome into Spurs Live postgame. The Spurs and the Warriors battle it out on City Edition night inside of the Frost Bank Center. The Dubs come away with the dub, 125 to 120. The final score. Jacob Toby and TJ Ford here with you on Spurs Live postgame. That's a tough one, man. The Spurs get two triple-doubles for the first time ever. Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama, yet they still lose to Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Yeah, you got to give credit. Golden State came out here and they kept fighting. They was able to make the adjustments in that second quarter that really led coming out of halftime of getting Steph Curry going. And then from there, they started getting into their game with those splits and getting guys active by cutting to the basket. And from that standpoint, I mean, it became tough to guard.
What'd you see from Area 51 tonight? Again, two triple-doubles by two Spurs players in the same game. First time that has ever happened.
But those guys got us off to a great start, and that combination between each other and the chemistry is second to none. When you look at Castle get in the paint, being able to find others and also create his own shots, and then Wemby there coming off the screen and getting to the basket. So two guys being able to get a triple-double is something that rarely happens in this game, but it also rarely happens with a loss. So for them to be able to play as well as they did and still allow Golden State to come in and get a victory says a lot to Golden State coming here fighting, knowing that they needed this win on the road.
First time that's ever happened in Spurs history, the 18th time that has happened in NBA history where two guys get a triple-double in the same game. These are your two young stars that you're building around for a long time here, TJ. But again, a young team still trying to find out ways to win. The Spurs were great in clutch game situations coming into this game tonight, 6-1 in clutch situations, but tonight just couldn't figure it out down the stretch. You mentioned the second quarter. Third quarter as well was where we saw Steph Curry explode for 22 points.
Well, right before halftime, things kind of changed when we started selling for three-pointers, and then you allow Steph Curry to get going, which he just had an awesome rhythm tonight, being able to get to the free throw line, being able to hit threes, being able to get to the basket. He had a variety of different ways that he scored the basketball tonight. And once a guy like that gets going, it's hard to guard him. And then from there, the others got involved and started making basket cuts and getting layups.
At one point, Curry had more free throw attempts than the entire Spurs squad. The free throw discrepancy tonight was pretty interesting when you take a look at the score sheet as well. So Steph Curry with a very big night, his season high, 44 points. He missed a free throw, could have had 45. But he ends up with 44 here inside of the Frost Bank Center tonight, giving the Spurs fans a big show. Again, one of the greatest players, greatest shooters to ever play this game. More coming up on Spurs Live after the break. Harrison Barnes hitting a couple threes, going up against his former team, but the Spurs lose. Welcome back to the Frost Bank Center where the Spurs and the Warriors battled it out. It was a close one to the end, but San Antonio ends up losing by 5. Jacob Toby and TJ Ford with you here on Spurs Live postgame. So the Spurs were undefeated at home coming into this game tonight, and now there are only 3 undefeated teams at home this year: OKC, Denver, and the Warriors. Just 3 left.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got a rhythm, but, being in the NBA is very rarely somebody's going to win all 42 home games. So you got an opportunity to come back and play Golden State here on Friday. You'll make adjustments to what they was able to execute down the stretch here that made things very difficult. But overall, the free throw line was the biggest difference in the game tonight.
Yeah, the free throw line was a big discrepancy. Again, at one point in this game, Steph Curry was out shooting the Spurs from the free throw line. How hard is it to combat that, TJ, in a game when the free throw line is just so lopsided?
Well, it takes your momentum away. It takes your aggressiveness away. It takes your energy away. So putting guys in the free throw line, it takes the rhythm of the game away. And obviously it affected our team tonight by not being able to push the basketball, get out in transition, and use our youth against Golden State Warriors.
The Spurs did what they do most games, second chance points in the paint as well, but the Warriors just shoot the 3 ball. They've been doing that for so long, ever since they drafted Steph Curry, and that continued tonight.
Well, it did, but I think when you look at the game and you really look at the stat sheet, the free throw line, if you're able to execute and play without fouling, you have a different ball game. You was able to kind of hold them steady at the three-point line. It didn't hurt you, but no one would have guessed that Golden State Warriors would have shot 30-plus free throws tonight.
Spurs were trying to win 4 straight on the season, and that streak snaps tonight. First of a 5-game homestand for the Spurs. Ends in a loss. Luke Cornett.
It looked like a promising start defensively in the first period. How did things kind of unravel after that?
Combination of things. I think obviously 21 threes and then 32 free throws is tough. You hold a team to 22 points in the paint. Typically, that's a good number. Felt like there were a few times that we probably had some participation in stopping our runs, whether that was some good offensive stretches and then we didn't have disciplined or shorted up defensively or had some good defensive stretches and probably didn't capitalize or some self-inflicted wounds there offensively, and give them a lot of credit. They, obviously very publicly challenged themselves, and we came out strong, and they responded, and we needed to be better.
I saw that Jeremy only played 6 minutes. Is he okay health-wise?
Yeah. Yeah.
You talked pregame about De'Aaron's, just rust element. Did that kind of rear its head tonight?
In terms of
just him, still having to get over the rust, get his stamina up, conditioning up.
Yeah, maybe. I think again, there are some things that we just could have done better. I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes. I probably, again, could have used the bench more. Maybe guys got a little tired. I don't know. That's something we'll have to go back in the film and look at. But he's giving us a lot right now, obviously, and he's been out. And, to think that a guy's going to be out that many months and come back and be at the same all-star level just hitting the stride, I don't think it'll take him long. But I think he probably deserves a little bit of a runway.
It seemed like there were a lot of open looks for them in the second half, especially from three. What was leading to the shot attempts, the good shot attempts they had from the perimeter?
Yeah, a lot of it is Steph Curry's gravity. Obviously, you put a lot of attention on him, and so guys will get shots. Obviously, Jimmy Butler made some threes tonight. Some of them were breakdowns on our end, and some of them were them making some shots and taking advantage of that. And we need to be better at that to not give them quite that many open opportunities.
Are part of those open opportunities just ingratiating more of the guys that have been injured back onto the defensive side of the ball for communication purposes?
No, I don't think even guys that have been injured or healthy, the communication shouldn't be affected by that. So I think that's something that hopefully should exist, even if you lack a little bit of maybe the continuity or the rhythm or anticipating what your teammate may do because you've been with him on the court. But the communication is something that should be hopefully at a certain standard regardless of who's in, who's out, or who's been around.
Coach, Steph and Victor put up triple doubles tonight, even though the outcome wasn't what you guys wanted. What positives do you take away from how they rendered?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are competing. They're doing a lot of good. We just have to try to navigate and minimize some of the peaks and valleys. I think if we can have a more consistent standard of 48 minutes, then typically the highs sustain because you're doing something disciplined and consistent enough to be able to have some runs. And right now I think we're just having too many lows, and so there's still a lot of highs and we're doing a lot of good things, but we just need to be more consistent.
You guys face
Mitch Johnson after the Spurs lose to the Warriors by 5. Jacob Toby and TJ Ford with you. And 2 20-point triple-doubles. Steph Castle, Victor Wembanyama. Just the 5th time that has happened where 2 guys get 20-point triple-doubles in a game. But again, it comes in a loss. You heard Coach talk about Steph Curry's gravity, those open threes. It is tough to defend him. He's 37 years old, but he's still the greatest shooter that ever lived.
One of the greatest players of all time. He's been able to display that tonight, being unstoppable, being able to get to the free throw line, shooting threes, getting to the basket. And from there, when Steph Curry is on his game, it opens things up for the other guys, and they was able to get offensive rebounds and make good basket cuts and get layups.
Warriors shot 21 of 57 from the three-point line tonight. 57 attempts, 4th most in their history as a franchise. You know what the NBA record is for three-point attempts in a game? If you had to guess?
60?
Add 10. 70. The Rockets did that. James Harden's Rockets back in 2019. 70 three-pointers in a game.
That's a lot of three-pointers, man.
Yes, that is a lot of three-pointers. Now let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Spurs. Again, tonight the loss. Another one against Steph and the Dubs on Friday. That's an NBA Emirates Cup game. That's on Amazon Prime. We will be back with you on Sunday. That's a 3:30 game, if I'm not mistaken. Afternoon matinee against the Sacramento Kings. 3 o'clock, I should say. Thank you for correcting me. Tuesday against the Grizzlies and then the Hawks as well, November 20th. You do want to take advantage, though. Being home for 5 straight games, that's important.
It is important. And you can't look at the actual record of a team, right? And we understand coming in tonight that Golden State was on a losing streak, and you got opponents that you expect to win. But these guys are going to come in and play. You still got to handle business. You got to be focused. And we had to clean up the things that we did not execute tonight.
I know you had Dan Weiss for pregame. That was your guy. But you were stuck with me for postgame and halftime. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Fun.
man, I love my guys. Anytime I can be next to you hearing your voice, man, I want to be next to my guy.
Great TJ Ford, Austin legend, former Spur here on Spurs Live. Tough one tonight for the Spurs. Again, that third quarter, 43-28, the Warriors outscore San Antonio. Curry, 22 points of his 44 coming in that third quarter. They hit 21 threes and beat the Spurs by 5. For TJ Ford, Sean Elliott, Dan Weiss, and our entire crew, I'm Jacob Toby saying good night from the front.